To each and every last one of you guys out there in Europe, over in London and UK and surrounding areas, really excited to hear. Got a lot of great momentum going for not just the company but for the team. A lot of great feedback from the company as far as feedback from the new packages and things like that as well. Just a lot of great things are happening, and I'm truly excited. And the thing about the company, as far as what they told us it was going to be from day one, it's that vision has never been clearer than now. And I'm really excited about being on board. I'm going full throttle. Most of you have been noticing I've been doing 6 cities a month as far as tours are concerned. Now, I think I'm going to be ramping that up a little bit, and I may be going to a 6 to 8, 8 to even 10 type of tour type of deal in the months of April and May, going through June, July, all the way through August, because I want to create as much momentum as possible. I want to be the person who leads by example. Okay, I want to make sure that I become the personal change that I want to see in my group. All the things that I was uncomfortable in doing as far as prospecting, as far as presenting, one-on-ones and CJMs and things like that. Right now, it really doesn't matter how difficult those things are for me to do or how intimidating those things are for me to do. I'm over it. I'm done with the procrastinating right now because I understand, as far as the window is concerned, that window will close on me because it has no respect to man. It only has respect to time. And so every opportunity out there in the world has its time. Even though Organo Gold, in my personal opinion, will be around here forever, just like Amway, Mary Kay, and Herbalife, those companies that have been around forever, the opportunity for me to make a strong multiple 7-figure annual income, that window may be closing if I don't catch the momentum. Because remember, we had our first surge, and when we first opened the company, and you had your first surge when they first launched Europe. So right now, we get a chance to go through our second surge, together. Right now, we get a chance to go through phase 2 together. And, when you look at, whether you've been in the business for 1 year, 2 years, 7 years, it doesn't matter. Because, again, it's not about how many years, you've been in. It's about how many times you get a chance to take advantage of the launches and the phases that the company go through. See, if you go through the company, you've been in for 6 years with me, and I've been in for 7, almost 8, and you've only launched one time, you're probably not having the success that you really and truly desired. But, if you've actually been in the company for 6 years and you've relaunched a couple of times through people in your group, and you've also taken advantage of not just the first phase, but now you're looking to capitalize on the second phase, then it doesn't matter. You're gonna have a lot better results and a lot bigger impact than the people who's just existing in the company, people who are just waking up and going through the motions. Okay, I can just tell you, the company will be around long enough for us to go through 5 and 6 phases. Okay, but again, if the company's around 20 years and you only launched one time, you only went through one phase, you're just 20 years older in the business. You're not 20 years more effective. You're not 20 years more impactful financially. You're not in a good place momentum-wise. You're just there. And so can you make good money in a company if you've been around 20 years, you've only launched once, or you only took advantage of the first phase? Yeah, it's possible. Is it probable? No. Okay, but think about it. If the company's been around 20 years, and every time we go through a new phase, and new phases meaning we're going through our weight loss, and nutritional line phase now. That's a phase, and you take full advantage of it. You work and you build your business, and you go and grow through that. That's a phase. You get excited, you get invigorated, you get brand new people on board, and now next thing you know, you're increasing your income and you're increasing your pin level. Okay, then you have the phase of the skincare product that's coming through. That's going to be another phase. Okay? Then you'll have the phase of the athletic product line. You'll have the phase of the children's product line, with the hot cereal and, all the other things that they're going to be coming up with as far as kids, gummy bears, or whatever they're going to be coming up with, but they're going to have a whole entire line, of kids products, children's products that is going to be attached to a phase. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you want to make sure that it's just like booking a meeting from a meeting, just like booking a person to a upline call, a three-way or a lifeline after a one-on-one, or after a one-on-one, getting a person to come to a Saturday training or a big event, or getting a person to come to a weekly meeting, or just something, booking a meeting from a meeting. You got to understand that booming your business, okay, let's just say that, booming your business from phase to phase is very, very important. Booming, I'll say it again because I just came up with it, so I know if I don't have it, you don't have it. But booming your business, from phase to phase is necessary. Okay? And so that's what we're about right now. That's what we're doing right now. This is how you stand the test of time. This is how, when you hear me say, if you stick and stay, you'll get your pay. Well, remember, if you stick and stay and you don't, build it the right way, you won't. You'll just have to wait till the next phase. Okay, but if you stick and stay and you do it the right way and you relaunch, okay, and you make sure you capitalize and create the momentum with these new phases when you're using the cruises and they're using the tours, they're using the gold packs and the promo packs, but when they get ready to go and transition into new phases, you can't help but capitalize. But this is what I want you to do. I want you to stay consistent and persistent in your building process, okay? Don't want you guys to be situational people. I want you to be people who are building on principle, okay? That's a very big difference. When you hear Mr. Buggs say, build for structure, okay? Don't build for pen. Build for structure. Don't build for income, because remember, the income and the pen will come as a result of you actually consistently building for structure. That structure will yield that pen and income, okay? So when you look at the situational things, like I said, the challenge of most people in this industry is that they have a challenge of starting and stopping, and that stems from situational incentives and emotional impact from other events or promotions. So you'll have people who will be in the business, 3, 4, 5 months, and guess what? They won't do anything. They won't do anything until the next promo comes around, or they won't do anything until the next cruise come around, or the next Disney incentive comes around, or the next, whatever it is, incentive comes around over in Europe. And then once that incentive is over, okay, the volume goes back down, the activity goes back down, and they'll wait until, the next leader comes back into town, the next big Super Saturday, or the next big convention, or the next big, ultimate training experience, or something like that, okay? You want to make sure that you do it the right way. Don't be a promotional worker. Don't be a promotional builder. Okay? Stop only working for the purpose of the promotion or the incentive. Okay? The same thing that you needed to do to get to that to get the people to the meeting is the same thing you need to do to get to Diamond. Okay? Like you hear Rowan talk about, he's building from week to week. You have a weekly meeting now. Okay? Remember, and when you have a weekly meeting, this is what happens. If you do not support the weekly meeting, it goes away. Then you have nothing. Okay? Why didn't they have any guests? Well, the guests, they needed your energy. Okay? But you didn't have any guests. You didn't have any guests. What does that stem from? What is that a symptom of? That is a symptom of you not promoting with the same vigor, energy, and excitement that you did when you were promoting for Mr. Buggs to come in. Okay? And when I wrote a post, on the team page, and some people took it the right way and some people took it the wrong way. Some people got overly excited, and there's no way in the world that you can get overly excited for Mr. Buggs. I understand that. Okay, I've amassed a lot of wealth because of my understanding of that. So I don't want you to take that the wrong way. But the fact that you don't stay overly excited when he's gone, that's what worries me. That's where my concern kicks in, because remember, your business has to stay open more than just the day that he's there. It has to stay open more than just the 3 or 4 days of the event that he's going to do, when he's in Verona, Italy. Okay? You got to understand that there's a mentality that you must have, like when you're inviting and you want to get 10 people to see Mr. Buggs or more. You want to get 10, 20. I have people here in St. Louis, and I want you guys to understand this. Remember, I've seen it all. There's nothing that you really can do or can bring to me that I haven't seen in this industry in my 18 years of doing this. Okay, but when you look at St. Louis, ladies and gentlemen, in less than 10 days, maybe a week, so a week to 10 days, we put 434 people in that room. 226 of those people were guests. Okay, and 228 of those people were guests, and 206 were distributors. Okay, now beforehand, the weekly meeting in St. Louis, it fluctuated from 45 to 55 people per week. Okay, what's the difference? The incentive, or is it the person's personality, and character trait, and their habits as it pertains to the weekly meeting and who may be speaking there every week? It has nothing to do with the incentive. The incentive just exposed you. Okay, it lets you know that you are better than what you're showing people. It lets you know that you really do know how to invite. It lets you know that you really do have a value for something in this business, okay, or someone in this business. It lets you know that you've been underperforming and that you're not consistent, that you're inconsistent actually, and you're not persistent, and that you can turn it on and turn it off when you want to and you choose to. See, when you take that as a starting point, okay, it's neither good or bad, it's just what it is. And what you do is you take the positive from it. So you know what, I do have greatness in me. I do see that there's something in me that I can just flip that switch and I can actually build this business on a high level. See, what you want to do is you want to be able to flip that switch and keep it on. Don't turn it off when Mr. Bugs leaves. Don't turn it off when Mr. Rakowski leaves. Don't turn it off, when I come and leave. Keep it on. Keep it on. And the person who can stay motivated, inspired, and excited for a long period of time, long enough to where you can go and get diamond done and build the right structure, you will win. Because that's the challenge. Most human beings, okay, when they're not dealing with the top-of-the-line people every week, okay, what happens is they only get it up for that one event. They only get it up for one event. They only stay motivated long enough to do as much work in that 1 week, as far as that one event, and the rest of the way they just Cadillac, they just relax, they just chill. They've lost their momentum, they lost their excitement, they lost their vision, they lost their purpose. They lost it. And you can't be that person, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you, how you do anything is how you do everything. And if you do that here, you're going to do that other places. I was speaking with a gentleman. I was pretty frank with him. He's a red. His personality trait is red, and he was, I have to speak with him direct, candid. And he's asked me to give it to him solid. And I asked him. I said, look, I just left Kentucky. I'm about to leave Kentucky, and you had 10 people here for me personally, but you've been in this market for 2 years. I said, when is the last time you had 10 people in the market for any meeting? He says, last time I had 10 people in the market, it wasn't at one time for anybody. I said, Suleiman Rockman came through, Mr. Bernstein came through, Mr. Haynes came through, even when David Amici came through, he said, the most I've ever had in the market was 7. He said, but I've never had 10. This is my first time getting 10. I said, but you've been here 2 years. I said, you said you want to be the market leader. You said you want to go from sapphire, okay, to ruby, emerald, and diamond. I said, the challenge with that is this. You have to go from wanting to needing to be ruby, emerald, diamond. And when you change your desires, when you change, what you want to what you need, what happens is you'll also change your activity. You'll change the principles in which you're building your business while you won't be part-time. You'll go full-time. I said you won't part-time promote. You'll full-time promote. And you'll be on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You'll be on the phone with me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we'll have a relationship, and you'll have your diamond pin. I said, but right now, I'm just be honest with you. I said, you're not rising to the occasion as a leader. And I told him, I said, look, can I be frank with you? He said, yes. I said, you've been in how many companies? He said, I've been in 3 companies prior to this. I said, tell me the differences. He said, well, One company I had really good leadership, but the product sucked. Okay, we couldn't move it. We couldn't sell it. He said one company I had a phenomenal service. Everybody wanted, everybody needed, could afford, but we had horrible leadership. They every time we felt like we were going forward, we take 2 steps backwards as a company, and we start losing all of our leaders to other companies. And then he said the other one was it was my first company. I didn't know how bad I had it until I went to the other company and said I had a horrible product, and I had no system, but I was around nice people. He said nobody knew what was going on. See, everybody was confused. I said, so you're an organo. I said, so what do you see in organo as compared to those other companies? He said, I've been here 2 years because I know that it's not the company, it's me. I said, I want you to elaborate. He says, I know that the company has great leadership. That I know. With the records that we've broken here at the company, the incomes that we earn, the strides that we've made, 50 plus companies, the country that we're functioning in. And he goes over the resume of Organo thoroughly. Okay, and he says that then you have the system, which it makes the results predictable, and you can pretty much know exactly what you're going to get every city, state, and country you go to, training-wise and presentation-wise, because it's the same presentation, same 4 steps, and everything else is done the same way. He says it's still a brand new company, still great timing. Unlike my first company that was around for 18 years already, this is only 7 years old. Plus, the product, when it comes to the product, there's no such thing as market saturation when it comes to coffee. Okay, because, again, coffee drinkers are being born every day. He said the challenge that I have, with the compensation plan is that's the other thing. He said it's the king of compensation. So, he said my thing is just getting myself out of the way. I need to stop making excuses, and I need to start making it happen. And I told him, I said, well, can I be frank? Can I paint a more vivid picture, for you? He said, yes. I said, okay. Well, I want you to understand this: that Organo is not going to slow up for you to catch up. Okay. I said, if you can't build this business and you are refusing to do the things that are required, and for you, your wife, and your 3 kids, what I want you to understand is, I said, don't waste your time. And don't waste the people's time that you have following you in this market, because, again, you're telling these people that you're a leader, and you're not doing the things that leaders do. Okay? And I said, I wanted to hope you're receiving this. He said, I'm receiving it. He said, I'm receiving it and I'm processing it. He says, it's a little hard to take, he said, because I'm here all the time and I do. I said, but remember, leadership has nothing to do with the time that you invest. It has zero to do with it. Because remember, real leaders, they invested most of their time in the beginning working on themselves. Right now, they're spending their time, investing their time, not working harder. They're working smarter, using leverage, while they're opening up and developing new books of business. And I said, right now, I'd rather you have 20 hours of really good, effective time building your business than 40 hours of you not doing anything at all and just acting like you're building it. I said, I'm just telling you right now, your wife just had a baby. She's not working, okay? She's not working. If you're going to squander the opportunity, I'd rather you quit if that's the case. Sit back, drink coffee, okay, and go find a job or go open up a company doing something that you know that you will do and that you're great, that you will do for real, and roll with the punches like that. I said, because the economy right now, it's not going to take pity on you. It's not going to say, hey, we're going to buy him some time because he was in another company, and it didn't work for him, or he didn't work for it. Because the economy doesn't care, but your family does. So you owe it to them to do the best. If you're going to be here in this company to do the best, you owe it to your group to do the best and be the best, and then make your best better. This is not something where you can actually play around with people's lives. Don't gamble with people's lives. Don't gamble with people's money. I said, for the 72,000 people that I have in my group, I move with between 8 people. Let's just say my core people, my 8 people, I move 72,000 people with 8 people. That's not working harder. That's working smarter. I said, but I worked harder than anybody in my group when I first got started, and right now I'm going back to working harder than anybody in my group. And you can see it in my calendar. You can see it in my schedule. You can see it when I draw my group out every day. I draw my group out every day. And I don't just draw out the volume. Okay, I don't just draw out who's my top 6, my top 10, what have you, and the volume. I also draw out what cities, states, and countries I want to expand my business into. I also draw out what ethnicities I want to bring into my business, what cultures I want to have in my company, okay? What languages I need people to speak in my business, okay? Because I can't speak all these languages, but I plan on having business in those areas, in those regions, with those nationalities and ethnicities. So, right now it's time for you to ratchet up, your work ethic. Make sure you put your work out there on Front Street. Okay? Make sure you put yourself in a position where when your people see you, they see you moving forward fastly. They see that your schedule is packed out. They see your effort is unmatched. You make them look at you like you're their God, like you're their leader for real. Because remember, you teach with your activity. You don't teach by explaining. You don't teach by allowing the person to read your notes. And that's not how you teach. You don't teach by conference calls and platforms like this. This is just a what we call a conscious intervention, if you will. That's all these calls are. It's like a public announcement or something like that. This is kind of keep dripping on you guys, so you guys can get yourself ready for the big show. Okay, so Mr. Bugs is coming, and you have 12 days before he gets there. What do you do on the way to Mr. Bugs? Well, what you don't do is sandbag. Okay, the worst thing you can do is sandbag and keep people just for Mr. Bugs, and I'm not going to invite anybody to anything. I'm not going to invite you to do any one-on-ones. I'm not going to put anybody on conference calls. I'm not going to put Mr. Bum in front of anybody. I'm just going to put everybody in front of Mr. Bugs. Okay? Well, let me tell you what the danger of that is. Life happens to everybody from now until then. 1, 2. When you look at how many your numbers, if you did the invite correctly, with a lot of posture, a lot of value, and you answered their question of what Organo can do for them in their life, their finances, their health, and everything else, then what happens is you're going to get at least 50 people show up. And I told my people that in St. Louis, I said, some of you are going to most of you, if not all of you, are going to wake up with regret. And when I say wake up, I'm not talking about go to bed, wake up the next day. I'm talking about you're going to be in the middle of a training or middle of the presentation. Mr. Bugs is there. It's almost over. And you're going to wake up, okay, in the midst of that event, wishing and praying that you would have done more. Saying, I could have had more people here. I should have had more people here. I wish I had more people here. Mr. Bugs is on fire. He's as advertised. He's everything that we've ever needed in this market and some. What was I thinking? Why didn't I max out my efforts? And because half those people don't show up, what's going to happen is you're going to, remember, half of them that show up, half of them will sign up. Okay? So again, you want to make sure that you understand that everybody that shows up is not going to sign up. It's just not how it works. Can it happen? Yes. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Is it probable? Probably not. But it can happen. Okay. But if you have 2 people confirmed for Mr. Bugs, one's going to show up if you did it right, and they may or may not sign up because 50%. That person's on that means if that one person, is on the edge and don't know what side they're going to fall on. 10 people say they're going to come, 5 will show up, 5 won't. 1 or 2 will sign up. 20 people say they're going to show up, 10 will show up, okay? 4 or 5 will sign up. How do I know? And how has this has been validated every time I do a big event. I had a young lady by the name of, French, Miss French. She had 32 people show up. She had 32 people confirmed. She had 14 people sign up. That's just about 50%. Okay, and out of the 14 people that showed up, guess what? She had about 5 that signed up. So and she's got other people to follow up with. So right now she's closing in on that 50% mark sign up ratio for people who showed up. So we know what we're doing. You just have to do it. You just have to trust that you can get through this thing, that you can actually really work 18 months straight and build 18 months straight with no gaps and no letdowns, no emotional baggage, no distraction. Okay? When you do that, things change for you. But no sandbagging, because what happens is you'll also cure your momentum going into that event. See, the people who actually present every day up until that point, they will have the first, what we call the first exposure out of the way. The person never really gets started on the first exposure for the most part. A lot of those people get started on the second exposure. So if Mr. Bugs is your very first exposure, the person that you put in front of your prospect after Mr. Bugs, that person's not going to be all that great to them. Right? But if you put yourself in line first, and you go out there and do the presentations first, okay, on one-on-one basis, okay, or you go out there and do it with your expose as many people as possible, prior to Mr. Bugs getting here. That means that you'll now have a lot more people to follow up with if they don't get started. But the most important thing is this: if you have people that get started before Mr. Bugs gets here, now you have more people on your team that can actually invite to get you more of the market share. Okay, the people who wait always have the worst days. They always have the worst days. Okay, so don't wait, don't debate, don't procrastinate, don't hesitate. Okay, let's go ahead and commemorate this moment, this brand new moment that we're at right now, where you're saying, you know what, it's all or nothing. Right now, it's me, and I'm gonna put myself to the test. I'm gonna take myself to task. I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna build this business the way it was designed to be built. And guess what? Even if you don't do 4 CJMs a week, then you haven't done 1 CJM in a month, you don't have to go in trying to do 4 CJMs a week. Okay? But get in where you fit in financially. Okay, put yourself in a position where you now can start doing 1 or 2 CJMs a week instead of not doing any at all. Take incremental steps in growth to get comfortable, I guess, which is a word I don't like to use in this situation, but that's the best word that I have for you. And that way, the repetitions will help you beat the fear. It'll help you beat discomfort of being in front of the room and training and presenting. And you'll get a lot of great benefits from it. But most importantly, you'll get that first exposure out of the way, and you'll have all those people sitting there in those seats, whether you present it to them or whether one really present it to them, or whether you put people in play prior to that. Mr. Bugs will do his thing, and they'll get signed up for the most part, because that'll be their second exposure. Okay, so no sandbagging. Don't do it for me, do it for yourself. The other thing about sandbagging is when you do it, guess what? Your team will do it. You either teach it or you preach it. When you sandbag, what you're telling your people is, I'm going to help you build a real big business, but when it doesn't look like you're going to hit your pin, or it doesn't look like you're going to hit your bonus, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide some volume up. I'm going to store some volume, preserve some volume, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sandbag till next month. So when you do that, you teach your team and your people to do that. So let's just say you're $4,000 away from hitting Ruby one month, and because I'm at 9,000 in volume, but I have 4,000 in volume in my hands, and I'm not going to put it in the system because I don't see myself getting the other 1,000 that I need for Sapphire. In this example, guess what I do? I actually take my the money, the sandbag, the 4,000, and that person. Now I won't put my volume in the system because I don't look like I'm gonna hit it. But next month, that month you miss your pin, you miss Ruby, and now you're upset at me at what you taught me to do. Let's just say that. I want to clear that up. I learned sandbagging from you earlier on because when I was getting in, you said, no, what we're going to do is we're going to wait to put you in at the beginning of the month or the first of the month. And since it made no difference for me, it didn't make any difference in my money at that time, I didn't have a problem with it. But when you do that, guess what? You teach your people how to do that, and what you do to them, they'll do to you. What you do with them, they'll do with you. Okay? And I can just tell you right now, you won't have a lot of people out there making decisions based on how it's going to affect you. They're going to make their decisions based off what you taught them and how it's going to affect them. Okay? So let's make sure that we are very, very clear with no sandbagging thing. Okay? But lead by example. Like I said, we have some really sharp individuals out there at the UK. We have some very, very dedicated people out there. And again, guys, I know for a fact that you guys are right where you need to be. You just have to make that shift. You just have to take, put yourself in a position where, again, you create the type of activity every day and every week that you were creating for Mr. Bugs. Create that every week, and don't talk about. And I'll wrap up with this. Don't talk about coffee when you're inviting somebody. Don't talk about Ganoderma when you're talking to somebody, selling Ganoderma or running a coffee business. That's not what you talk about. Okay? When you have Mr. Bugs coming in, when you have Dr. Bukowski coming in, you can talk about Ganoderma and stuff like that. That's fine. But you got to know what a person's strong suit is. He's also a businessman and a prolific speaker worldwide. Okay, so talk about his attributes and his strong points. For Mr. Bugs, you talk about our resumes and how strong, we are business-wise. But the other thing about Mr. Bugs is this. This is the gentleman you want to tell everybody. This is the gentleman who literally got to $1 billion faster, okay, than Starbucks, faster than Compaq, faster than Apple, faster than McDonald's. As a matter of fact, he got to $1 billion faster than McDonald's, Burger King, and Dairy Queen, all rolled in one, all together. Okay? This is an individual that did that working from home with no employees. Okay? And I can just tell you right now, because of his philosophies and the way he thinks and the way he's creating new opportunities, new streams of income, he's moving around teaching everybody how to, open up their mind, how to be flexible, how to put themselves in a position where they can think outside the box and do something huge, based on not using the parameters that everybody else has already used and prove that you either want to fail, but you don't want to come behind everybody doing the same exact thing that they did, because again, at some point in time that way of doing business will become obsolete, kind of like Encyclopedia Britannica. Don't know if you guys had those when you were kids, in your grandmother's home or what have you, but Encyclopedia Britannica, ladies and gentlemen, that information is so old, it's outdated, and it's just like today, people educate themselves differently. Plus, the information that's coming out today is old. It's old in 60 minutes. It's old. It's old right away. Okay, so right now you can either go back to the old Britannica, Encyclopedia Britannica, a way of doing business, or you can step into the new generation, right, the information age, and get the right information that it takes for you to actually build a huge business, and do it the way it's required. Not necessarily the way it makes you feel comfortable. Because there's a big difference. Okay, so when you're doing your presentations, don't be afraid to speak. Okay, the guests don't know what you left off. Don't worry about being a good speaker. Focus on being a good connector. What I want you guys to do is I want you guys to connect and make friends. Make associations, create associations with other individuals that will last a long time, but also will not just buy you time, but it'll buy you some relationship and friendship credibility. Okay, value. Okay. So when you build a cold market, remember, some of you are on your cold market teams. Right now, when you're building a cold market, it's a little bit slower than building a warm market, and it's extremely slow and almost intolerable if you build it the wrong way. If you build it inconsistently, you have to start and stop building. It just forces you to, take damage from people who are watching you, who know for a fact you're not moving forward because they've been seeing you do the same thing for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And so it's that time to go ahead and shift gears, have a paradigm shift, okay, and go out there and give birth to new problems. Okay. And when you say, well, what you mean give birth to new problems? Ladies and gentlemen, what happens is, if you have a big enough group, you'll have different problems and challenges. For people who have no challenges in their groups and no problems in their group, that means that you don't have a big enough group. So when I'm counseling with Rowan, and Rowan is saying, Mr. Bean, this is what I got going on in my group today, or this is what I had going on in my group last week, and we're still working on this. I'm excited for him, not because he's got the problem and it might distract him. I'm excited because now he's got a big enough team to where he has problems, and Now he has to work his way out of them with the advice that I give him. And so it's going to make him a better person, a stronger person, a better leader. Okay. But, you want to make sure that when you're building a brand new business in a brand new cold market, which is what most of you are doing, make sure you should never, never build a strategy. Never build a strategy, let's just say that. Okay. You should build it for a warm market. When you find a person that has been building a cold market for over a year, something is wrong, with their effectivity, with their effectiveness. Let's say that. Okay. Something's wrong with their effectiveness, because what you want to do is you want to build a cold market to get a warm market, not build a cold market to stay in cold market. Build a warm market to get in somebody else. Build a cold market to get in somebody's warm market so you can get away from the cold market. But some people, they've been conditioned and they've been bred and almost raised to stay in the cold market and build a cold market. That is not the way you do it. So when you build a cold market, you just have to build a person's trust, and develop a rapport with them that will actually allow them, to be comfortable enough, with you, so that they will allow you access to their groups in their warm market, their family, friends, and colleagues. So right now, when they see you out there hunting, they see you out there building, they see you out there in the trenches, these new people that you have coming on board with you, they will respect you a lot more than the old people who are just seeing you switch gears right now. So, okay, well, I remember when he was a procrastinator. I remember her when she was lazy. I remember her when she wasn't a leader. Whatever it is, these new people don't know you to judge you. But what they do see is a person who they can believe in. The person is working, got a great work ethic, and has, excellent effort. And they see a person who, if they're not a leader, they're creating leadership activity and leadership moments, so they can actually be recognized as the leader. And so that gives the person social proof with these brand new people who don't know them. Ladies and gentlemen, go out and meet new people. Okay? You heard us talk about getting 100 no's. I'm not going to go back into that training or anything like that. I just want to make sure you guys go and get brand new people and take those brand new people 12 levels deep. Okay? When you actually take a person's business 12 levels deep, remember, you find your leader every 4 levels. You find a leg every 8 levels. Okay? But when you have a 12-level team, you pretty much found 3 leaders that you backed up with each other that's, they're not really going anywhere. And every time you do that, again, it forces the people that's in your business to now start demanding your time through their efforts and activity. Okay? Or it just puts you in a position where you continue to build and do what you're going to do anyway. Okay? So, but whatever you do, make the decision to do it. Stay with Rowan, and let him do his thing as far as being a leader. Allow him to also spread his wings so he can go out there and continue to recruit and sponsor like he's doing. Because like I told him, when he first went Sapphire, don't think that your Sapphire team is going to be the team that gets you to Ruby. Okay? It's some of those people are going to leave, and while they're here, while the time is bright, while the momentum is high for you, what you need to do is you need to capitalize on it and really go ahead and build a business to your highest level of efficiency, to where at some point in time, if anybody does leave, it won't really affect you like it would somebody else. Okay. But if you guys have any questions for me, you guys know how to reach me. I'm on Facebook all the time, but also you got Rowan. Rowan, he really tends to get to me a lot quicker, a lot faster with this, as far as communication is concerned. He's going to get the answers that you need. But don't sandbag, ladies and gentlemen. Work every day like your life depended on it. Work every day up until the point he gets here like it's closeout. Okay? Like it's closeout. So what I want to do is I want to bring Rowan back on the phone. Rowan, if you have any questions about anything or any comments about anything, it'd be a great time for you to do that at this point.
I just want to thank you so much, Mr. Bean, for all the information. I've got so many notes from the call this evening. But one question I do have is, if someone wants to go Sapphire from this event using it as a launch pad, building up to the event, how many guests would you recommend that they actually have that have been exposed prior to the Holton Bugs event at the actual event on the 5th of April?
Well, from now to the 5th of April, I always tell a person, if you really want to get, a pen broken, get yourself anywhere from 15 to 25 people in the actual room for Mr. Bug. So when he does his presentation, he does his event, it's going to be a Millionaire Mastery type of event. There's a Millionaire Mentorship, a Mastermind type of event. So he's going to work on everybody's mindset. He's going to take it, mold it like clay. He's going to make sure that people who were stuck on their old thinking and their old programming when it comes to businesses, he's going to make sure that their minds are now reset to where they're open for opportunities and they see how big this industry is for us. So a lot of those people, ladies and gentlemen, are going to get started. So you have, let's say a fraction of those people will get started. So I'm going to tell you, 10 to 15 people is normally the number that I would suggest you guys get to that event. No less than 10. As many more as 15 as you can. Let him go to work for you. Okay. Then you have Mr. Bob Rakowski coming right behind him. So it's kind of going to parlay from one event to the next event. And then again, I see what's going on, right now, the way if you guys go ahead and kill this thing and you do, big things and you get big results, you get people to the event and you get people in the business. And I'm not waiting on Dr. Rakowski's events and his results. Okay, I'll go ahead and book mine and I'm coming. Okay, so right now it's time for you guys to put up, and you put up and step up, and I'll show up. Okay. So everybody should be over inviting for this event. There's nobody should be comfortable with 5 confirmations or even 10 confirmations. Everybody, you have your CVO. Okay. The only other person worldwide in this lifetime that we've known to ever be given that position and earn that position, coming to do a presentation for little old you. Okay? No, there are no emeralds out there, no diamonds out there, blue diamonds, elites. He's going over there, and I'm going to tell you why he's going over there. He's going over there as a star search. He's going over there to find out who he can actually work with and build around, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just working with the market. He's going to find a couple of key leaders that he's going to work with. And also, this is the other thing. He told me last night that if you guys step up to the plate, he's going to start sending some of his other elite diamonds over there. Every like you said, anywhere from in the States is every 45 days. But he said, London can be anywhere from every 45 days to every 90 days. But he says it's probably going to be closer to 45 than it is to 90. So if you guys blow up, again, it's not just me coming over there because I'm coming over there for you guys, but he's also going to infuse the market with other people who have no financial, no fiduciary responsibility and no financial gain from going over there to work with you guys. So that's just a little inside scoop on what you guys have to accomplish and why you have to accomplish it. If it's big for you, if it's important for you, you can make it happen. But I'll turn it back over to you, big guy.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bean. You answered the question for me. I don't have any more questions for you, Mr. Bean. But I just want to thank you so much for your time because I know you've got a very, very busy schedule. And I'm definitely building up my own personal momentum coming up to this event and showing the plan every day. I'm going to make sure I have the 15 to 25 guests there, as you said.
Fantastic, big guy. If y'all need anything, let me know, and stay in communication, and continue to go out there and do it big. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bean. Good night.